the element of earth, another yin energy, and a feminine receiving element, the signs of Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. The keywords are practical, material, solid, tangible, stable, reliable, pragmatic. Structure, foundation, roots, consistency, Mercury in Taurus. The thinking is practical, slow. The person can do esotericism, astrology, but such an astrologer will take his time and will verify everything in practice. He cannot be a philosopher because Mercury in Taurus needs to operate with facts, to rely on something concrete. Venus in an earth sign would like stability in a relationship. Keep in mind that we never describe people using one factor only. Each planet in a chart has its own function, but we can focus on one particular planet that will help us to find the right approach to the person. Take her Venus in a sign, and you will know how to make the person feel comfortable, how to gain her confidence, how to calculate the dominating elements in the chart. We analyze the position of the Sun, the Moon, Mercury, Venus, and Mars in signs, as well as the position of their dispositors in signs. We can add the sign of the ascendant. We don't consider the position of the social and trans-Saturnian planets in signs. Also, if an element is not presented in the chart, you do not need to look for its compensation. I remind you that the planets designate basic functions or roles. The personal planets are responsible for the character traits, for the functions of the psyche. They are the Moon, the Sun, Mercury, Venus, and Mars. The Moon, Cancer, House 4. The Moon is the luminaire of the night. I am in the name of a child, the surrounding world, the point of comfort, my sensitivity, the mother, the way I perceive the world globally speaking. What makes me relax, rest, my body, the energy that I can take from the body through food, sleep, rest, my sensitivity to the world around me, how I take care of the world and of others, how I accept the world. The Sun, Leo, House 5. The Sun is the luminaire of the day. I am in the name of a conscious adult. Individuality, achievement, creativity, creative inspirational energy. The further. There exist two sources of energy. Take the example of an apartment. A TV, a refrigerator, an iron are like other personal planets, Mercury, Venus, and Mars, that will not work without electricity, that is without the Moon and the Sun. Mars does not give energy, it consumes it and crystallizes it because its function is to act. Mars will describe how the native pierces the wall. Mars is not an energy-generating planet as such. Jupiter, Sagittarius, House 9, enlarges, increases, expansion, development, authority, elite, wisdom, ideology, informal power, the archetype of a guru. Jupiter does not stand for the world vision. The latter is the function of the Moon, how I see the world. Any planet can bring both good luck and bad luck. The benefactor is the alchemical nature of Jupiter, the pewter. Saturn, in its turn, is the lead, which is actually the poison. Nevertheless, we do not transfer the level of alchemy to real life. Everything depends on how we use the function of the planet. Jupiter allows us to expand the sphere of influence, but at the lower pole, it can work as a destroyer. I live in the eternal illusion that I am perpetually in lack of something. I acquire knowledge, but I cannot start teaching in the case of Jupiter squaring the Moon. Jupiter personifies high standards, puts the bar very high. Jupiter is a social tool, the hammer you can use. The house of the placement of Jupiter will show in which sphere of life you should evolve. Develop your status. Be an expert. The personal planet receiving an aspect of Jupiter will describe how to achieve it. The slow planets personify global trends of the world and the laws of the cosmos. Violation of the rules of the society, of all social boundaries, magic. They are not visible from the Earth without a telescope. Their energies are of a parallel reality. They are extremely destructive in their pure form. Uranus, electricity, Pluto, radiation, Neptune, alcohol, virtual reality. Their energies in their pure form are destructive if we have not grown up to their level. These planets are not social, they are even antisocial. Uranus on the lower pole is literally chaos, excessive rapidity. On the upper pole, future ability to plan. The lower hypostasis of Neptune is the unmeasured trust, illusion, deception, and intrigue. Pluto on the lower pole. I am a victim. I put pressure on others. Everybody uses me. While Pluto in its upper hypostasis is the story. When I do everything in the name of my own profit, it is me who uses everyone. It's me who pulls the strings. All three slow planets relate to magic, to the transformation of reality. If we do not satisfy properly the psychological needs of the personal planets, especially those of the luminaires, the sun and the moon, if we don't play them on their upper poles, then the slow planets can be extremely destructive for us. Let's take the upper pole of Neptune, which stands for esotericism and spirituality. If you have not worked on your sun and moon, you will be immersed in a world of illusions, dreams, and disappointment, and spiritual practices will trigger degradation. House 11. Science, media, crowd, society, future, projects, contemplation, synthesis. Lottery or competition when you have to show your talents. For example, a beauty contest. House 11 does not stand for friends. There is no friendship in the channel of Uranus. Friends correspond to the channel of Venus, that is to house 7. The 11th house is society. Us with no face, me and the crowd. For example, subscribers on my social network, people whose votes the person wants to gain before the elections. House 12, wild nature, cinema, esotericism, spiritual practices, charity, freebies, import-export, stock market, trade, global financial markets, isolation, confusing situations. Houses 11 and 12 are the houses of supreme energies. We define 3 categories of channels. Simple channels are oriented to the needs of everyday life, are easy to work on. Aries, House 1, Taurus, House 2, Gemini, House 3, Cancer, House 4. The channels of administrator require resources, interaction with other people and society. Leo House 5, Virgo House 6, Libra House 7, Scorpio House 8. Superior channels focus on achievements beyond the rules of society. Magic, mysticism, subtle world. Sagittarius, House 9, Capricorn, House 10, Aquarius, House 11, and Pisces, House 12. For example, if you have 5 planets in Taurus, your psyche is oriented toward the needs of the simple champs. It's very important for me to eat, to sleep, to earn money so that everything is in order, which will allow me to feel stable and secure, protected in life. Now imagine that at the same time these planets are in House 11. Destiny requires the person to be an explorer, politician, inventor. There is a dissonance between the psychological needs of the person and the instructions of destiny. Our task will be to find a compromise between these 2 major parameters of the chart. We should not mix these 2 notions, a planet, a house. An aspect can be harmonious or dissonant. The tension is equal to affliction. A planet or a house manifests itself in a distorted way and functions on the lower poles. A tense planet or house has more dissonant aspects than harmonious. Harmonious or non-afflicted planet or a house manifests itself naturally according to its nature. A harmonious element has more harmonious aspects than dissonant. Harmonious moon cares about others, knows how to show attention, is in touch with the world. With a harmonious, non-afflicted sun, the person is self-confident, believes in herself, respects and values herself. With a non-afflicted Mercury, the native evaluates the situation adequately. A harmonious Mars allows the person to defend herself coherently. Dissonant aspects force the planet to manifest itself inadequately, improperly. It works on the lower poles. An afflicted moon will be characterized by emotional rigidity and cruelty. There is a lot of energy in dissonant aspects, but it is unbalanced. Our task is to use it and to do something about it, to build something. Any tension is the point of working on oneself, and as a consequence, the point of growth. An afflicted moon needs isolation, has difficulties staying in contact with the world, experiences a lot of negative emotions. Its work is altered. If Mars is afflicted, the person may have problems with the ability to work. When it is necessary to work, she has no energy. When she doesn't need to work, energy overflows. The manifestation of the function of the planet is not opportune. It must be tuned as a musical instrument. Squares and oppositions contain energy of conflict, of contradiction. If you overcome them, you will receive a lot of energy. It's like a chaotic job that you have to reframe.